Welcome to the first of a new style of video that we're trialing. Let us know if you enjoy this, because we'll do some more. Basically, it's a drag race, and don't worry, another vehicle will appear here shortly. That's because it's going to be a virtual drag race. For this video, I'll do the full test as well with the quarter mile by itself down this side, and then we'll get stuck into the drag racing. So if you want to skip forward, check the time codes in the description. For the first contest, we've got a 2005 Subaru Outback. It's actually an MY 2006, and the way you can tell is this center cap here, instead of having the Subaru logo, the 2005 version has just Subaru written out in text. Don't ask me how I know this. It's just one of those details that you pick up during the course of your life when you're following the car industry. The other reason I know a bit about this car is because it's actually my parents' car. They bought it new back in 2005. I recommended that they buy it. It's a 30R, I think it's called just the R. In 2005 it was just called R, and then I think it was changed to 30R a bit later on. But that means it is pretty much the flagship engine, and we're going to compare it to the current flagship engine, which is the 2.4 turbo 4-cylinder. This 2005 model features a 3-litre flat 6 engine, and when it first came out I just adored it, and I begged my parents to buy it because I just thought flat 6, that's like a Porsche 911 basically. Very similar specs to the new model actually. This has got 180 kilowatts versus the new 2.4 with 183 kilowatts, just 3 kilowatts more. But the new model does have 350 Newton meters of torque, whereas the old version has just 297 Newton meters. It's an original example. My parents haven't modified it or anything like that. It's done just under 210,000 kilometers, so I'm very interested to see what it can do 0 to 100. Subaru claimed back in 2005 that it would do it in 8.5 seconds, so we'll see how much power it's lost or how much acceleration it's lost over the years. But yeah, very standard model, no mods. I think the only thing they've changed that's sort of major is the front suspension. They put new dampers in there because it's feeling a bit loose on the road. Aside from that, it does feel very light compared with the newer models. It only weighs 1,500 kilograms compared with the new version, which is about 1,700 kilograms. There's a 200 kilogram weight difference there. And you can feel it. This thing feels so light to drive. It's amazing. It's just how far we've come just in 20 years. But this does feel a lot sloppier, obviously. The suspension, all the bushes and everything would definitely need replacing by now. And it just, yeah, the steering feels a bit sloppy, but it is quite agile and it actually handles pretty good, even though it is a very old model with high kilometers. I think one of the biggest changes that I noticed with an older car is just the in-car visibility. It's crazy. The windows are nice and big and I can see out from every angle pretty much. Whereas the new models, not just Subaru, the pillars are a lot chunkier, the windows are smaller. In saying that, this does seem to let in a lot of heat. So as I said, it's a pretty warm day today. It's about 25 degrees Celsius, and I'm finding the cabin is very hot. You've got to put the aircon on straight away because it's just very hot in there. And I think that's because the windows are so big compared with a more modern vehicle. Basically what I'm doing is getting the tripod and camera set up on the exact same position on the road. I've marked out the spot on the tarmac here where I know where the tripod will go, so it's exactly the same. And then there's 2 other spots further down. I've measured out a quarter mile as well, so we can see what sort of quarter mile the old version does, as well as the new model, which we already know. And then see what sort of times they do each. Obviously, it's not an exact drag race, but it's about as close as you can get, in my opinion anyway. The only thing that changes is the weather, because it is a different day. Today is a bit warmer compared with when we tested the 2.4 turbo. But aside from that, yeah, it's exactly the same time of the day as well, 2:09 p.m. I measured it out, so it's exactly the same. But I'll try and do my very best to make sure that they're as accurate as possible. So there we go, the 2005 Subaru Outback managed to beat its original manufacturer's claim even almost 20 years after it went on sale. The last run I've done was the best one. It's 8.06 with the quarter mile in 13 seconds, 16.13 seconds. And I also did a 8.26 and an 8.06 again. I also did 8.49. That's matching the manufacturer's claim, but that was with the aircon on. I didn't realise I had the aircon on. Usually I always turn the aircon on, and so was that one. That was a build up the engine revs on the brake, and that was with the engine, with the brake on and building up the engine revs, but yeah, with the aircon on. Tell me what you think. Should the new model be a lot quicker than the old model from 20 years ago, or is that gap pretty reasonable? And if you'd like to see more of these virtual drag race style videos, please let us know and we'll try and put together more of them in the future.